All right. Coming at you live from the therapdrugspod studios. Jay and Todd. Oh, yeah. Coronavirus
Nice.
spread. But yeah, what the hell are we going to do when we hit 10 million subs? I mean, we're a long ways away. We might never hit it. Maybe we'll have to add 5 million YouTube plus 5 million Instagram together to make it count. But what do you think we should do if we hit it?
Well, I was thinking we could drop acid, right? And then we could do that same thing that other guy did, you know, when he jumped out of the space fucking plane at like 1,000 miles in the air, but we do it on LSD, right? So it's
Tom
like
Cruise?
way better.
Oh, you mean the Red Bull guy? The guy who did the Red Bull challenge.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
man.
do it high on LSD.
Why not like DMT?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna be a short fall,
I feel
right?
like I could do it on LSD. I don't know if I could do it on DMT.
How long did that guy fall for even?
I think it was a while.
Maybe
Probably a few hours.
Maybe you do the DMT and then someone pushes you. And then like 20 minutes in you come to.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do the DMT and you do it sober so I can make it to the bottom alive.
I think that's something we could do at like 1 million subs though. I'm thinking like something huge. You
got something bigger?
Million. Yeah, I've got something bigger.
Okay.
I'm thinking we should put on like obviously we're going to create a movie one way or another, so that's a whole nother story, but I think we should put on a MMA fight, you versus me on mushrooms.
Okay.
We don't have to do the mushrooms if we don't want to. I want to take it seriously because it is serious. But
okay,
like let's say we hit the 5 million on either YouTube or Instagram. That's when we start training. And then whenever we get to 10 million,
that's when we go at
on
it.
one of the platforms. Yeah, that's when we book a venue because it's going to be really expensive. We're going to have to book a theater, refs, judges. Like,
this is the greatest idea ever. I'm so excited.
Exactly. And then we'll have Justin Bieber and Tom Cruise on the undercard. So that's going to be really expensive too. So.
Oh yeah, man.
But yeah, for like, I can only imagine getting to 10 million. Like, it's going to be cheap at that point.
But, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. That's the dream. If we ever made it.
Yeah, we'll get there with your help though. But yeah, 1 million. I think that Red Bull drops a pretty cool ass idea.
Pretty reasonable. You like that?
Yeah, I love that idea. So 1 million on YouTube or Instagram. Like, are we gonna do something for each of them, or is that like whichever we get to first?
I don't know. I feel like
we could figure something else out for like.
Yeah.
We'll have to pick another thing. I can't even think of it
easily. Yeah, we'll do one for each.
That's so epic. Did you have any other ideas that didn't make the cut?
No, that was instantly my first idea. Actually, I don't know. For my 10 million.
Yeah.
I think for my million was just gonna be like a DMT trip. I didn't have like a super extreme
one. Okay, so yeah, I think maybe at 1 million then we'll make that movie shit happen. So I think I told you about my ridiculous idea for a movie. Maybe fans will like this, maybe they won't. Depends. Like
your movie
some of
idea?
these people in the movie are pretty controversial, and the whole movie is pretty controversial. So like I don't know if I should tell it right now, but I better or someone else is gonna steal my idea. Like we saw it happen last week. I didn't go all out with the Barstool Sports joke. Tim Dillon fucking killed it. Did it right. Made me look like a pathetic
amazing bit
for even considering making a bad joke about it. That bit was unreal. That's what the internet's made for. And hopefully we get to that kind of production one day. Like Ben, his producer's so awesome. All the skits he does, he put like that Lil Rona one he just did too. Spent $1,000 on the costume. He said, I bet probably worth $1,500, $2,000 if it wasn't COVID, like to get the guy to do that costume. So like really cool. And he did the same thing with the Epstein Temple thing. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
New flick on Netflix too with the Jeffrey Epstein series. I got to watch that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's hot. I guess there's just some, I don't know exactly the title, but it's a Jeffrey Epstein's name is in the title. So some
Fuck, I gotta
clickbait
check
type
that
stuff,
out.
but hopefully it's a
That's
good
crazy.
docuseries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm pumped for it. But yeah,
Yeah.
1 million subs. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put out the movie trailer, and that for the 1 million subs. Like, and
Okay.
if I can get the people on board for the movie, then that would be so epic. But basically it's gonna be the backstory to this whole coronavirus thing. Completely fictional, completely a joke. Like, I'd love to be like, like Team America World Police. Like, I'll do it with puppets and still action if I have to, instead of getting the real people, because that might be our only option at the end of the day. Like, because this guy says no to everything. One of the guys I want to star in it, Joe Rogan. I just think he'd be a great leading role, or like co-starring role, like Sean William Scott type guy, but like Joe Rogan, not Sean William Scott type. Like, because the story I have is like built for him. So basically, it's going down like the accusation. So just coronavirus happening as normal, except this time Alex Jones gets a tip from Eddie Bravo that the CIA knows that coronavirus came from them. By them, I mean Alex Jones is secretly running Russia. So Vladimir Putin is the face of it. Alex Jones, maybe played by Tim Dillon, maybe played by Alex Jones, is running things behind the scenes, running the propaganda machine that is Russia. Oh, I can't even remember who I was going to get to play as Vladimir Putin. So that one's open for auditions right now. But yeah, we got Eddie Bravo starring as Eddie Bravo, conspiracy theorist. But he knows everything that's going on facts wise. Like, he's delivering the truth every time, because I don't know if you ever listen to anything he says, but it's legit as hell. But yeah, we got that.
Always come with the facts.
Exactly. We got that going on, and at the same time that goes on, like it flips. We got one of those cool Navy SEAL guys. Who knows? Maybe Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing as Jocko Willenick, or like something like that. Checking the watch at 4:30, just getting in a workout, sweat pouring off him, and he calls up his buddy Joe. Joe's like, "Fuck, man." No, Joe hits him on the line, and it's like 4:20 in the morning. So this guy's like, "Holy shit, what's going on?" It's like 4:25 in the morning. Let's be honest. Joe takes Toke first at 4:20. Then we flip to the phone call, because he gets a call from Eddie Bravo right after 4:20. I knew you'd be up right now. Didn't want to interrupt the ritual. But I heard this shit. Joe flips over, calls The Rock playing Jocko, tells him, "Hey man, is this real or what?"
Yeah.
Jocko says, "Let me check." Calls his buddy Joey Diaz playing Mike Baker. So yeah, Joey Diaz confirms it's 100% legit. His contracting firm is actually partially responsible for creating it. He didn't realize what they were doing at the time. Just was trying to get a new trafficking game going, new connections in China. So yeah, little bit of CIA contracting in there, a little bit of fun. We got Joe Rogan as one of the stars. He ends up going on an adventure with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jocko Willenick. Lots of desert scenes. Hopefully we can get Elon Musk to be a part of it. That would be my dream. Get him in on it. Get Tesla to sponsor. We got Cybertrucks running throughout the whole thing. Make it kind of like a Mad Max meets Mission Impossible style thing. With Joe Rogan playing Tom Hardy. But yeah, I think that would be the dream to make, and if we could make it a parody, even better. It depends what the fans want. So that's the only way we're gonna even get to like the 1 million. But 100,000,
right
100,000.
Oh yeah.
What should we do there?
100,000?
Yeah, 100,000.
Okay.
YouTube, not Insta. Because YouTube, you get your first plaque, I believe, like a silver plaque at 100K subscribers.
With YouTube?
Yeah, with YouTube. So we got to do something to celebrate that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's it's, I don't know. Should we do like a planting spree? Should we just plant trees everywhere, or marijuana all
Ooh,
across illegal states?
I think you hit the nail on the head right there, Todd.
Hmm.
So we'll do
That second
we'll
one?
kick off our university tour probably earlier. So maybe
Okay.
we'll do this beforehand, but I think places where mushrooms are decrimmed, like we don't really have to worry about going there, but like I want to hand out mushroom spores in places that aren't, like Vancouver, go
Yeah,
right in front of the government building, right in
for
front of the
sure.
police station, whatever. Hand out mushroom spores because I'm pretty sure that's legal. If it's not,
If it's not,
we'll
it
tell the
should
police
be.
officer it is and see what they say. Let
Yeah.
them tell let them tell us. But I think like everywhere where it's illegal, it's kind of silly. So we're gonna grab hemp seeds from the legal states, drive across a couple borders, throw them down around government buildings, public universities, wherever we can. We're gonna just litter with seeds like mad. When we hit 100 subs, I think that's dope. I think that's
Yeah,
dope.
that's a sick plan.
But I think we
100
start,
subs.
100,000 subs,
100,000?
100,000 seeds.
Yeah,
100,000
right on.
subs, 100,000 seeds. Yeah.
Right on.
So, but yeah, 10,000 then I'll do the mushroom spores. 10,000 Insta followers.
We start handing out
I'm gonna hand out the
mushroom
mushroom
sport.
spores at Young Dundas Square
Right
in Toronto. That's the game
on.
plan. Yeah, I'll hand out 10,000 mushroom spores.
Sick.
Yeah. So what about 1,000 then?
1,000?
Yeah. I think we start hitting the bongs at 1,000.
Hitting the bongs on the
Yeah.
show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to early, but like gotta save it for celebration, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta keep the content top notch.
Or we could streak at a Blue Jays game.
Yeah. I mean that works too. Maybe both. Like
But we get the fans to vote on it.
Yeah. We'll get the fans to vote on it. Vote below.
We'll streak and run across the field. We'll try to hit the bong.
Yeah. Yeah. Bong Toke streak. Or no, we don't have to streak. We just run out on the only thing illegal is
No
getting onto
streaking?
the field. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Bong Toke though on the field. Because we can't show the streaking on YouTube.
Ah, damn.
And I don't know about IGTV either. I'm pretty sure that's PG-13.
Shit. Yeah.
But I don't even want to get involved with Facebook Watch. They're watching us.
Yeah.
Not going to give them any help.
CIA
with that.
watch?
Yeah. You mean FBI watch? Like, why did LifeLog, why did they drop the I? Like, why go with Facebook FB? Like, why not just be like Facebook intelligence or Facebook integrations? And then just FBI. Like, why not just be straight up about it?
Yeah.
LifeLog by Facebook integrations.
I don't really even know what LifeLog is.
Yeah, it's a DARPA thing that
Okay.
we shouldn't get into it here. We're getting a little off topic. We'll get into the research in psychedelic drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
True.
last thing
Okay.
for 1,000 subs. Anything special we're gonna do for that?
Didn't we do 1,000 already?
No, I thought we did
Were we gonna
10,000.
hit the bong?
Oh yeah,
it was
1,000. 1,000. Yeah, that's right. 1,000. 1,000 on YouTube and Insta. 10. That's when we're gonna do it.
Hit the bong.
We're gonna do it. Yeah. Start hitting the bongs on the show. But yeah,
Nice.
the other thing is right now, like yeah, already too high.
Yeah, for sure.
Need to get better at this. Need to get better at this too. So yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
being high on the pod. All
Yeah,
right.
No,
So
ripping.
that was ripping. That was 1,000 subs. You want to get into the research then? Do you got the page up?
Not this second, but you
Right
got
on.
the pages up, right?
No,
I'm
I
playing,
can't get
homie.
shit up on my phone, man. I gotta upgrade my equipment here.
Just messing with you, boss.
I
So,
got
yeah.
some notes on this notebook.
Yeah, you
I
got
could,
some notes down?
Oh yeah, I got this notebook here. It's
Yeah.
full of notes.
We got an insane amount of articles to dig through on this topic, but yeah, speaking of the movie idea in Russia, like we were getting into a lot of the kind of ally stuff, British Empire, US Empire, which as we all know now is just another version of the British Empire. Or at least you should know if you're paying attention to anything, which like the intelligence agencies are all connected, share information. We don't know if Jeffrey Epstein was Israel intelligence, was British, or was US, but we do know Ghislaine Maxwell was British, and Jeffrey Epstein suspected to be Israeli. So it seems like there's a big ally tie there, whereas the Axis,
more than likely he was just an asset for all of them. Like
100%.
They all are just intertwined.
Yeah.
At this point,
it's hard not to like it. It's hard not to be. Let's be honest. Everything's connected, and if they don't share information, they have less information to work with. So there's a lot of stuff they don't share, but there's a lot of stuff they do share, and some of that might be operatives. But yeah, speaking of that, let's get into the flip side of the coin, and like, what did you find on like Russia, Cuba, communist China style thing? I think you focus mostly on Russia to start.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on Cuba. It was mostly like Crimea and Western Russia, where a lot of this stuff kind of took place. But it was they were just basically the kind of equivalents, the Russian equivalent of like the Chinese brainwashing experiments, or like the early MK Ultra experiments. Just people in Russia were kind of in a scientific community looking for ways to control people, like alternative methods, you know. And Russia seemed to go in the direction of trying to build like a machine. That's where a lot of the literature was. So weird things go on with Russia with this because of the way the Soviet Union is. If you don't know, like, they believe a lot of stuff is like shouldn't exist. Like religions.
What do you mean about weird things?
What do you mean? Or like okay, so a lot of the stuff that we're getting into is like is considered like what's it called? Like paranormal phenomena? Yeah.
Paranormal, supernatural. Yeah.
So the Soviet Union like kind of tried to shut this stuff down.
So they're gypsies. They're gypsies.
What does that mean? I don't
they
really
use
know
magic.
Much
they use magic. I'm teasing.
Well, no. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, I don't know. It was considered because especially early on. Yeah. Not so much voodoo, I don't know, maybe. But they did talk a lot about mediums. They worked a lot with mediums and really thought like mediums were legit, which I think like the United States
speaking to ghosts have and stuff like that, like a medium. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Someone who'd connect them to the afterworld and spirits and
like reading people's minds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think was more the thing. It was just like.
So did they like use drugs for that? Or anything?
See, here's the thing. A lot of the stuff that got declassified was like, it wasn't fully declassified. So you might see like not exactly what they did, but what they thought from the results, or, you know. So there were experiments later in the 50s and stuff that didn't involve drugs, but more so, I don't fully understand, but they were just trying different things, mostly with radiation.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff with microwave radiation.
Yeah.
And
definitely would be some chemicals being experimented in there. But like you said, they're not going to declassify this information because they're like, think about the Conservative Party in your area. Like, would they ever be pro drugs? Like, would the CIA ever say they did all these tests if it wasn't for
the fact that there was money? There was money that disappeared that said MK Ultra on it.
Yeah, and there's a democracy, whereas in these other places it's not. You don't have the politicians being like Joe Rogan with the MMA coaches saying like, oh, the big gyms are the way of the future. Oh, the coach that does everything, the small gyms are the way of the future to both different coaches. And he's not wrong, because that's how the world is. Like, if you do a thing a right way, someone else can do the same thing differently, and it will be right for different people, because we're all individuals. Whereas in Russia and China, they don't want to treat you like that and make that apparent. So they really don't want psychedelics to be used at all.
Exactly.
So yeah, we might never know how much they really did, but
yeah, I mean, like, especially a lot with like how these were conducted. Like, we don't always know if they were people being experimented on or if they were just animals and plants, because we do know they did experiment a lot on plants and animals and seemed to prove different things. But yeah, it's not always clear if there was people in these experiments as well that were being
one thing we
these things.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely there was people involved, animals involved, maybe not drugs involved, but probably, because if like I don't know if Germany was Russia's ally.
There were drug experiments that are talked about.
Yeah, but they're much older.
Go ahead.
I was saying, Germany, like, where the U.S. stole a lot of their science, a lot of their drug research from. So there's no doubt that with Germany possibly having friendly ties with Russia and both having strong science communities, or being innovative, being nearer to each other at the time, like, they probably shared information at the very least between universities and laboratories.
More than likely, but
even if the governments didn't cooperate.
Yeah, more than likely. But even if there wasn't, after World War II, Russia seems to get all their information anyways. The United States, from what the documents show, it seems the United States got the scientists and Russia got the documents.
So there was a deal
is
made,
what thought.
Where they had
I don't know
split.
if it was a deal.
I guess that kind of makes sense. Look at the wall in the middle of Berlin.
Yeah. I don't know if it's so much, it just like the geographic situation, like all the scientists were in the West, and apparently all the documents for these experiments were conducted by the like most fucked up scientists, part of I forget the name, I can't pronounce it properly. It's called the Nubia or something. I have it written down somewhere. Yeah. They're like the religious people that like thought of the Aryan race and stuff, and were trying to like do experiments where they injected people's eyes with blue shit and try to make people, the crazy stuff. So these are the kinds of experiments that they were also like these MK Ultra experiments, these like microwave experiments that the Nazis were doing. They fell into this category. Apparently all these documents were kept at this like castle called Atlan Castle, where this group kept their documents. So I don't know if that was in the eastern side of Germany. Russia gets the documents, or like you said, it was part of the deal. They get the documents, and the United States is like, we're going to deal with the scientists.
Yeah, who knows? It was probably more likely what you said. Like you said, Atlan Castle was in the East Berlin side. The scientists, fearing for their lives, hating the Nazi regime, not trusting Russians, probably fled to what they knew, like Britain and U.S.
They probably felt like they were safer there. Whereas
exactly.
Russia would probably kill them because it was more like the Nazis, but they also didn't like Nazis.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, like, you're really taking your chance on either side.
Yeah, really.
But if you get to the other side, you can flee the Germans at the very least.
Yeah. But who knows really what happened? I mean, that's all we do know is that these scientists went west.
Yeah, because Germany and Russia were allies, and then they flipped. So at that point, you would definitely think, oh, I have better chances leaving that whole mess.
For sure.
But yeah, we don't know what happened. Like you were saying, sorry to cut you off, man.
No worries. No, we got this Zoom call going, so sorry if it's awkward and stuff. Just the way it is. Yeah, but
that's how we living.
The pandemic, but the so I don't know. Maybe I should go back a bit. I was talking about explain what kind of happens through World War II. So
I kind of jacked you up there to the end.
Yeah. No worries. We kind of jumped around for a bit. So just because I just want to explain like yeah.
Yeah, if you
Sure.
want to know
That's the point
more
of this
about
thing.
like pre-World War II Germany stuff, listen to the
Oh
history
yeah,
of drugs because we talked about it a lot. The
we went
second
into it
pod. But
quite
yeah,
a bit.
with your whole pre-World War II in Russia, what was going on?
Okay, so for people who don't know Soviet Union history, I think during the beginning of World War One, Russia's a monarchy run by the Bolsheviks or whatever, right? Then the Soviet Revolution happens during World War One, and I think that's what ends up pulling them out. And so that's like 19 whatever 33 or something. When that happens, a lot of these experiments that are going on are like kind of independent like researchers within Russia, and they start getting out. So the first year of the Soviet Union, a big
Cutting out on me, boss.
shut down, and for a little, let me know back in.
Yeah, big shutdown.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a big flip. Some survive for a while, and then World War II starts to happen, and then I can't remember the exact date. Maybe sometime in the 40s. There's another big shutdown where they're just like, we don't want any of this paranormal stuff going on, where people are looking in the medians, trying to figure out. They had all these theories coming out where they thought people's bodies ran on these EM waves, which are electromagnetic waves, which are like EM waves are just light rays that you can't see, which is examples of that is like microwaves, ultraviolet rays, or like X-rays. They're just like on a spectrum higher, and they seem to be radioactive, I guess. I'm not a scientist.
It's
I don't know.
potential. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, they
that
felt
part
like
of the study's declassified still, right?
yeah. Yeah, they talk just what they thought about all these things, cuz in the beginning it was just a theory that people's bodies ran off these EM waves, and then later they start to they confirm it, and they say, yeah, like we 100% believe they exist. They are probably these, they call them like
5G?
no, yeah, 5G waves. No.
no, fuck that shit.
No, they call them super high frequency waves, or also can't remember the other one. Maybe it was ultra high frequency waves, or yeah, something like that. Basically, they're just EM waves that are at such a high frequency, they act different than normal electromagnetic waves. This is what this whole theory is going on. So it's hard to like really pinpoint like even what's happening, because I think we got to give a lot of context. This is why I want to talk about the Soviet Union a lot, because like at this point you got to think there's already been 2 shutdowns of paranormal activity, right?
Yeah.
World War II happens.
Scientists getting worried now.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're fearing for not just like their jobs, like their lives. Like people are getting murdered, because they're like, hey, like this isn't, you're preaching for heresy, or not heresy. I don't know what the Soviet Union would call it. Just they don't believe in anything like that, So if you're pushing for it too much, and then
they don't believe in religion or science.
Yeah. Well, science that they don't agree with. Or fair. Whatever. I don't know. I don't understand the Soviet Union. I'm not going to pretend. But
good
call. So World War II happens. They get the documents, right, from Atlan Castle. Supposedly, this isn't fully confirmed, but it's believed that's what happened. Either way, they were totally aware of the Nazi microwave experiments, and they start doing them where they thought that if they could fire microwaves at people, they could adjust their super high frequency waves or whatever. They were just trying to affect people by hitting them with like radiation, basically, like different high frequency waves. And they were just like, yeah, when we do it to plants and stuff, they get all fucked up, and then also other plants somehow get affected too. They were somehow proving this. I
Weird. So this is like the basis of where this made up 5G ideas come from.
I don't know about that.
Well,
Maybe.
that is the theory, basically. Like these
Is
5G
it?
waves are activating some sort of virus in us, or
Yeah. I feel
animals,
like
or whatever, like something dumb like that, which may
I
or may not be possible, but it's really not possible for that it'll activate a virus.
no. No,
And what we know
I
about
don't know
corona
about any of
now, it's
that.
not really as deadly as we thought.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably not like I feel like that's like this like extreme kind of weird version you would have to take on it, but yeah, it is like
Yeah.
a kind of a similar idea.
Yeah, maybe it's
Especially,
not good to put your head right up against the top of one of those towers.
yeah, probably not.
But the
I wouldn't
same
think
way,
so.
it's not
But
good to put your finger in between a plug in the wall.
I mean, who really knows though? Like
Yeah, who
they've been
knows?
saying
Who knows?
since cell phones came out, like cell phones are only like 20 years old. They've been saying since they came out, like they're gonna be just like cigarettes. When we're all 50 years old, we're gonna have fucking giant tumors on the side of our head. Like,
Yeah, well,
I mean,
that's why I'm vegan now. Like,
who really
I've been
knows?
scared enough off of freaking certain foods that it's like, why bother
Exactly.
eating any meat if I can't eat bacon? It's gonna kill me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's all speculation. We're not here
it
for conspiracy theories, so we'll
yeah.
just keep to
Well,
the experiments and maybe
yeah.
speculate a little, but not going to take any of it seriously.
Yeah, we speculate a little, but really like we're just kind of reporting on like all this stuff is just what Russian scientists seem to believe throughout the Soviet era.
Yeah, and what they've
And
released to the public,
yeah,
one way
and
or another.
yeah, I think that's another important thing too is like some of the stuff is classified. So like why is that? Like why wouldn't they release everything? You know, are they trying to make us think they had these like things going on that aren't going on? You know, Russia's all about disinformation. So who really
Yeah,
knows?
you know it. You know
But
Russia's.
and
Maybe these
yeah,
studies that didn't even happen, and the real studies are all under wraps.
yeah, they're all made up, right? To
Yeah,
distract you from the drug
China
studies
style.
that were really going on. Yeah,
China style. Oh yeah, no, 50% more deaths actually happened than what we said. 50% exactly. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And then the other thing too you got to remember is like I was saying, after World War II, they get the documents, and then they're competing with the United States because the United States has the scientists, and they are starting MK Ultra, and they hear about it. So they're like, they've been coming after doctors for what they've called paranormal their whole life, and then all of a sudden there's a flip where they have a commission. They bring this commission together, and they go, okay, we want you guys to figure out the science, the real science. And then after that, you know, I kind of think like, what happens after that? Like, you got the Soviet leaders, like supreme leaders telling you like, I want you to go prove that everything you've been saying to me is like somehow scientifically factual. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm not coming back to these guys without some fucking paperwork, right?
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. Without a
It's
few
like,
dead bodies.
yeah, exactly. Like who knows what was really going on with these guys? But
Similar
they
to
came back.
MK Ultra.
Yeah, exactly. It's the exact same thing. Like who? What kind of insane idea is to just dose a whole bunch of people? Like, were they really learning anything?
Yeah, when
You can,
science and intelligence mix it, it's not good.
it doesn't make any sense because like I feel like whenever you do like a unknowing experiment like that where like it's just too unwitting, like you're not learning anything. You know what I mean?
What's the hypothesis? Did they
Yeah.
really have one? Like that's what I want to know. But they can't write that down though.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were just doing it for fun or money, obviously, or something. Like obviously
exactly.
some more was going on.
Like was it there just as someone in the government in Russia who like sold these wave making machines and needed to like push a bunch?
I mean,
like that's possible. That's very possible.
That's another interesting theory because when you get to the end of the paper, they talk a lot about how when the Soviet Union goes from communist to capitalist and all these Western states get their independence, a lot of this technology probably did get sold off to the Western era. And like, was it all just made up? You know what I mean? Did they just make this all up for the intelligence agencies and be like, look at these documents we declassified. Look at these generators that are in Latvia that Russia doesn't know we have. that Russia made and put there. You know, like it's really
makes you wonder.
It does, because going through this too, there's also these documents, classified documents that talk about. I think it was KGB agents. We're looking into a guy who apparently he had built a generator that made these EM waves that I don't know if I said earlier, but when the commission got together and asked for the scientific facts, the scientists, they came back and they told them that they 100% believe that these EM waves exist, but they don't know like how they're made or where they come from. And that was what they told them back then. And then slowly later, they start saying that they give them names and they try to build like these generators. They also have like a diagram of a machine that they like would insert into people's heads, and it was like a receiver.
Oh my god!
That would receive these EM waves. And there's also a document on President Borshev, maybe his name was. I'm pretty sure he was the first president post-Soviet, and he had apparently an antenna in his office that supposedly was there to receive these EM waves and make him feel better or affect his mood in some way, maybe even control him from KGB offices. Crazy. That was like, it was apparently reported in like Russian news.
Did we lose the Cold War and then we're just figuring that out now? Like, seriously though, imagine if they had all this technology and created cell phones back then, but just didn't know what to call it. And
I mean,
it's all a facade.
It's too true. I mean, possible. Maybe they realized that they were like,
maybe New World Order happened then.
Communism's awesome, but people think that they have capitalism to make stuff cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They knew they had to make the switch, but they wanted to stay in control. So then they just been controlling things. First they put this antenna in to control the few presidents, and then once they got Putin ready, they fired him through.
Yeah.
Who's obviously a KGB agent. That guy's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he 100%. He's exactly like Pete Buttigieg, but Russian. Like
who's Pete Buttigieg?
Pete Buttigieg is was the liberal, one of the president candidates who dropped out early on. He was a mayor of some city, and he was a homosexual and a veteran. People were speculating he was the CIA's choice to get in.
Is that right?
Yeah, he just seemed too like.
Did he used to work for the CIA?
What's that? Well,
did he used to work for the CIA at all?
I don't believe so. He was military though. That's proven. But he was also tied to the Shadow app. That app that had all the issues with all the voting, and he won that caucus in Iowa or wherever it was. He had ties to the app, so that was very strange. And that, like, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but that's made me question a lot of different tech stuff.
Yeah,
like those kind of ties. Like
for sure, I know it's like a huge worry we got to start worrying about is it's a two-way street these days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like does it matter whether the government created Facebook or whether Facebook's controlling the government, like through data manipulation tactics? Or, like, I think either way we should be concerned, and there's someone needs to answer these questions, and not just Zuckerberg.
And I don't think that's an easy thing to like differentiate. I think that's it's like a middle ground there. Like, I think they control each other in different ways. You know what I mean? It's not like a one-way street. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, is that an economic war? And what are the weapons technology? Is that any different than military, just without ammunition?
Yeah.
Like, if we think of prosperity being quality of life, how much quality of life are we losing to these tech monopolies?
Yeah.
Like, that's the real question. And that's why, like, it's really cool to see people like Tulsi Gabbard speak out about it, but it's also crazy to see her get shut up and nobody mention it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than her on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
really cool stuff. But who knows about the rest of the candidates, and even her, maybe she'll turn it one day when she's old enough to actually become president.
I mean, she might already be,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Might be a wolf in sheep's clothing. We know we know there is Elizabeth Warren's out there.
Yeah, I know. She was a bit, I don't know. I'm not even gonna.
It's hard to. I don't know either. Like maybe a lot of liberals, super left-leaning people were Republicans like a dozen years ago, and just realized the error of their ways, or vice versa. Maybe a lot of liberals became Republicans because they realized the error of their ways. Because I don't care what you think's right. Like,
yeah.
Odds are you're correct about a lot, but wrong about something probably.
Right.
But if you're a fan of yourself, that's all that matters. and you've got to question other people more than be one of those tribalists.
Yeah.
Like, if you agree with someone, agree with them 100%. But you should also question your own thoughts, even like question yourself.
For sure. I feel like that's like the worst thing is like politicians are like so afraid of getting called out. They just can't even accept that anything they say ever is going to be wrong one day or was at some point.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. They need psychedelics, but at the same time, that's like why the MK Ultra chose psychedelics. They thought it was like truth serum type of shit. Like, and it seems like a lot of the earliest MK Ultra stuff is undocumented and potentially even part of counterculture. Like, we can't just not recognize it and ignore it and say the same way you can't ignore that the CIA and FBI had something to do with the crack cocaine epidemic.
A lot of people contribute like the counterculture being focused around LSD to the fact that MK Ultra was also focused around LSD. Like, if he wasn't pushing on everyone, would it have ever been as widespread as it was? Like, and like you're saying, like the CIA and the crack cocaine. Like, I mean, now it's we know that what was it? Ronald Reagan's administration had people in it, or maybe even him, who were funneling crack into the streets so that they could fund rebels in South America after Congress told them not to. And they did so with Iran's help for some reason. Like, it was just the craziest story ever.
So insane.
You know the guy who took the fall for that? I forget his name. His name was like General Snow or something. The guy's like out and is the head of the NRA. Like, it's insane.
That's crazy.
He fucking committed treason. He admitted to it and everything. And they were shredding documents. No one cares anymore.
It wasn't treason. That's why. Someone above him probably told him it was okay.
Yeah, that's the fucked up thing, that it wasn't treason. He literally had CIA operatives with planes full of guns for rebels in a country that has been we've decided they cost us to send guns to. We had CIAs in a plane, and they crash land the plane in fucking, I can't remember where it was, Nicaragua maybe, or like Colombia or something, wherever the Contra was. They crashed the plane there, and the guy was just like, I think he was just like, yeah, I'm a CIA operative. I'm like, that's how they got caught.
What else can you do?
Yeah, I know.
When you're high on coke, flying a plane and crashing it.
When you crash a plane and it gets you super big.
Yeah. You shouldn't have took the DMT in the plane, but
I know.
But yeah, like I honestly think there's something in creating discourse that the U.S. feeds off of, like whether it's the people themselves in society that like it, or whether it's the government kind of seeming to push things around or create this push comes to shove attitude where there's lots of protesting. But between all the bad stuff in the news at the moment with George Floyd rip, like mad crazy shit. Like,
what's that with George Floyd?
He's the buddy who got killed on Monday evening. A black guy got choked out to death. So unfortunately,
was that the one with the car where they hit him with the car?
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you've watched any news this week, that was it.
I didn't really see it. I think I just seen some like photos and stuff, and I was like,
Oh, there was the different one earlier in the year where they chased him down with a car and shot a guy in Atlanta, Georgia. That wasn't a police officer.
yeah. See, like there's just
That
so
might be the
many,
one.
man. I can't even keep
But
track.
yeah,
Like,
that Atlanta, Georgia one was crazy. They went like 70 something days without getting locked up, and they weren't police officers or anything. And the guy who shot the video didn't get locked up till like a month later. So that was so nuts. But this one's just crazy. There's riots in the streets, people fighting.
where is this
Officers hurt and been suspended before and possibly killed people. I don't know the full story. People know it.
Do you know where it's at?
U.S. somewhere.
Oh yeah,
one of the
for
states
sure.
with an M, I think.
Okay, sorry, getting you all
Yeah.
sidetracked.
Yeah, Minneapolis. That's it. So, but we're getting sidetracked. But anyways, like the police officer, he had a bad record. Might have even killed people before, if not definitely hurt people and was suspended. And that is the biggest problem. Like people think they have a license to kill, and they basically do when they're far enough into the police, state, military, government thing, machine,
Yeah,
as you call it.
I know for sure, man.
But yeah, it's just a wild machine. But yeah, let me see what in the notes that you might have missed there, if anything, because I think you got a lot of it with the October Revolution starting there in 1917 after the commission's report that they started at the end of the 1800s there. So that was crazy. And then right away they get into like trying to do telepathy type stuff and the electromagnetism.
Yeah, right in the early 1900s, they were right into telepathy. It's weird because I think, see, here's the thing. It's almost like the Russia, either they didn't declassify all their drug programs or their drug programs didn't work. And then in the United States, they had these same programs with like these EM waves, but they didn't work or they didn't declassify them. It was under MK Ultra.
Okay.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's weird. I don't know which if they just weren't successful or if just like the different kinds were declassified in these two different countries. It's interesting how that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because at the same time, you could make a very strong argument that it's better not to release this information to the public so that they can create these machines and hurt each other or control each other with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're speaking about like Facebook tracking and logging you. Like imagine if they could just control your mind as well. If they aren't already with cell phones, who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's what these experiments were all about. How do we create?
One thing I'm remembering was in the 70s or 80s, it was like KGB. We're looking for this guy who supposedly had invented this machine, and then shortly after went missing. And then also the CIA was looking for him, and like he supposedly had died, but his grave was empty. According to the KGB, it almost seemed as if like the CIA had maybe picked him up, but
wow,
it was pretty sketchy. Like it was so early on. Like there was a couple of these guys though. Like that guy was from Czechoslovakia, and then there was one in Italy and maybe France. Yeah. So it was like they were just competing to try and get these early machines going. But yeah, I'll let you get back to the notes there.
No worries, man. I love hearing about crazy stories of people getting kidnapped by some sort of government intelligence.
Possibly. That's speculation.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah,
he just,
exactly.
The full stories or the official story is that he just died and now has an empty grave.
Yeah. So that's some Jeffrey Epstein type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, we talked a lot about pre-World War II and like kind of during a little bit and post very slight, but like after like the 50s, I guess, and like 60s, 70s, we got into that a bit. But there was also the science documentary films. Did you speak about that? Am I forgetting it? I've got a little bit on it here.
I know I didn't
get
talk
into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know
can't
what it
totally
was about
remember.
more?
I do remember them. Yeah, they're not really. Wait,
Yeah,
go start talking about it. Maybe it'll jog me.
yeah. So in 1969, right at the end of the 70s, like same time things were really, I guess, getting more controlled in the US. A studio of science documentary films created the first movie about Nina Kulagina and her abilities.
Oh, she was like what do you call it? A empath or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah. This film marked the beginning of the filmmaking about parapsychological research. And
Oh,
then,
okay.
in the U.S. report, Defense Intelligence Agency document. People don't speak about the Defense Intelligence Agency enough, but I'll get into that later. Controlled Offensive Behavior, USSR, July 1972. It stated that in 67, the USSR had more than 20 centers for the study of paranormal phenomenon with a budget of 21 million. Did you have the budget down?
No. Wait, what?
At 21 million budget.
Oh.
21 million.
Oh yeah.
Back in
It was crazy.
60s, the 60s.
The
So
original
how much
article,
is that worth today?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The original article I read said over the years they've spent collectively like more than a couple billion, like 1 or 2 billion, something like that.
Yeah.
On just these paranormal experiments.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, I think you did mention the next part about in the early 70s, the special commission was established by the secretary of the CCP. Yeah. So that was pretty crazy stuff. But
Yeah, that was the council where they first kind of admit to saying that it for sure these EM waves exist, but not totally naming them or saying where they come from. Because they start theorizing that like there's something called like a Z ray, which is an EM wave that comes from the sun or from like nuclear fission. Yeah. So this guy, he theorized that these Z rays were the easiest way to make he thought like you could turn these Z rays into the SHMF waves or whatever the fuck, the mind control waves. We'll just call them mind control waves. Yeah. He thought he could turn these Z waves into mind control waves.
Yeah.
That's what he thought. And so that's what I think these machines were based on too. It's fucking weird ass shit these scientists were into.
Yeah. So crazy. It's like almost like Gwyneth Paltrow Goop kind of stuff, but like they were actually getting government money to try it out and research it. Whereas like here,
it was government funded.
Yeah.
Stalin was right into it. You know, he was like, yeah, let's do it. But Stalin didn't have the best ideas either, though, you know?
No. But at the same time, though, he had the power. So that was a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas we got to rely on like corporate funding or like we want to make a better tasting Oreo or a cheaper Oreo. How do I make sugar out of scrap motor oil? Like those kind of experiments. But yeah, like what's going on right now with the psilocybin, basically. So I spoke about it in Trip Report News. I don't know if you catch up on those, but we try to put out a little news article daily, and then we'll put them all together at the end of the week, along with some bloopers, get you a good feel for what's going on in the shroom stocks market, as well as the research in psychedelic culture. Todd will be helping deliver that information. I'll be trying to cover the shroom stocks, even though there is a lot going on lately, because it's actually starting to pick up. But it seems like it's
the news is just expanding.
Yeah, it seems like it's really though too early for a lot of this stuff. Like, it kind of reminds me of California in the early '90s or even earlier, where they're trying to like legalize medical marijuana and nowhere else has done it yet. But we've got Oregon doing that.
Right.
Medical. They want magic mushrooms to be medical, and that's legit. Whereas like these companies seem to be trying to create a psilocybin concentrate because they want to have something that's consistent. But as we've learned with marijuana and Marinol, that doesn't work. Like you have to be able to create some sort of extraction method where you can get a stronger concentration without reproducing the molecules.
What's Marinol?
So Marinol is basically the same compound that THC is.
Oh, so it's like
and it's
synthetic,
patented and sold.
like a synthetic version?
Yeah, exactly. A synthetic marijuana, but not
Okay.
not that you buy it like a gas station or whatever. Like it's like a pharmaceutical.
Not like the spice.
Yeah, exactly. Not like the good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is it as good? What has happened
I've
with the
heard it
Miracle?
doesn't work the same way. Like it doesn't give it because it's not like the mix of the compounds is really what is ideal. Like,
yeah, it's not just like the
CBD is
one. It's not just the
important.
THC. It's like all the CBD. It's like there's other stuff too.
There's
involved
also
in
the
there.
terps and everything, but it's also
Yeah.
like they're saying like the organic compounds that appear in nature are just better than the ones you can make in a lab. Like
I think that's like the problem is when they go and they try to like take these things and then they try to make them like just like 1,000 times stronger. That's when you just start getting fucking issues.
yeah, so
We're gonna
awesome.
start finding problems we've never had before.
Exactly. So, but awesome news today. Like TRIP just launched on the Canadian Stock Exchange and their recreational truffles, but they want to get listed on like New York Stock Exchange, international stock exchanges possibly.
Good luck with that.
So they got Bruce Linton, the Canopy guy. He got weed onto the New York Stock Exchange. They did that earlier in the week.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, catch Trip Report to hear news like that. But that was pretty crazy, I thought. So
yeah,
if it's more likely one of these biomedical pharmaceutical type companies will get listed just and then get bought. But because why would Johnson & Johnson, who's also doing some psychedelic research, why wouldn't they buy up MindMed? They're like one of these multi-billion McKessons or Mercks or Johnson & Johnson, like I just said. They could just buy one of these tiny $100 million, $200 million, $1 billion micro cap companies.
Right.
So yeah, that's like that. It's crazy to me. I mean, it's a good strategy for these guys to go out and gas up their companies, pump up their companies. But at the end of the day, like it's bringing the education about the therapy to the people, the psychedelic therapy, and how important that is, and how MDMA is great for couples therapy or any sort of therapy for breaking down barriers. LSD is great for it as well. Psilocybin's been great for PTSD and end of life therapy. DMT is great too for addiction therapy and people meeting a higher power or needing to, or meeting aliens, depending what kind of mood they're in. And that's another thing too. It's like a lot of these things were created a long time ago synthetically. It seems like to just try on people. Like they were like, oh, these don't work for drugs. Let's see if they work for the military.
Yeah.
Like I'm honestly wondering if some of these people that thought they got caught by aliens were dosed with some sort of like DMT concentrate or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's another article or thing that popped up in the news recently that I was looking around. Like people who get abducted by aliens report very similar stories to people who have DMT experiences, which is very strange.
I mean, it's super possible. I mean, like I was
DMT
saying,
seems super visual. Being abducted by aliens seems like nonsensical.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah. Who knows what compounds though they're giving people? Like it could be
True.
LSD, DMT mixture.
It could be DMT without the side effects that make you trip.
Like
so
that
you
one
just
guy.
meet the alien entity, and it's no visuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
exactly.
Crazy.
I mean, when we talk about these things, it's like it becomes super obvious. Like we have no idea like what they're capable of or what they at least pretend to be able to do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when
they don't
when
even
that
know what they're capable of, though. Nope.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's
exactly.
there's no
Yeah.
research on the long-term effects of mushrooms. The
That
short-term
we know
effects
of,
are
that we
not
have
researched.
access
Yeah,
to.
that is open and available. Like, the Canadian government has no long-term effects on their website. but the
Yeah.
short-term effects are all just what you would say is happening to you while you're high. It's nothing scientific. Like,
Yeah, I know. I
and
always find
so
that
what are these side effects they're trying to get rid of? Like, dry mouth? Is it nausea? Like, hopefully
I
those
was
things.
thinking it was like I don't know, just like hallucinations in general. I think they were trying to just go for like, see, I think that's the problem is they're totally misunderstanding the whole thing. I
Yeah.
think they were trying to make a drug that made you not depressed and also you didn't hallucinate for like 6 hours. I think that's what it's like, no, like you have to sit down, you got to do this therapy and stuff. I think that's, maybe I don't know. We'd have to talk to
Well,
them more, you know what I mean? But
there's a
like that
big
was kind of my guess.
you're 100% right. And there's a really big difference between microdosing and ketamine therapy and what you're saying, PTSD, end of life addictions therapy.
Yeah. Those are all huge
It's a huge difference. You can't put them both in the same bucket and say, this guy who did ketamine could do MDMA or could have done psilocybin. Like, they're all for different things. And
Yeah.
microdosing and
Wildly different.
higher doses are also for different things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you haven't watched the Michael Pollan podcast with Joe Rogan or read his book, like, I think that's one of the first Joe Rogan pods I watched from the start to the end without stopping or getting up. Like when he's on, when Paul Stamets are on, like, I don't even get up.
You want to say who those guys are quick?
Oh yeah. Michael Pollan's a great journalist. He kind of just went through to the other side, not knowing anything about the psychedelic culture or world. He's like, it's becoming a thing. John Hopkins is starting the research. I need to find out more about it so the people know. And basically,
yeah, for sure.
He's now an advocate, one of the biggest advocates too. And by biggest, I mean
guy.
biggest following. Huge New York Times bestseller before this, and what he's done is awesome. Paul Stamets on the other side, he's kind of like the mushroom man. If you don't know him, you need to get to know him, because you're missing out on everything cool about mushrooms and how they're saving the fucking world.
See that guy that wears the hat made of mushrooms?
Exactly. Yeah, he's always gifting Joe Rogan one every time he's there.
Yeah, that guy's sick.
Hat/food.
He talked about how he cured his stuttering with psilocybin. Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, definitely. The stutter's crazy.
Anyways, sorry, I got you off track. Where were we going with those guys?
Before? Oh, I was just saying they're great resources to really kind of like learn from someone who knows this stuff through and through. Like we're just saying our observations, non-scientific, and trying to dumb it down. Like that's all we're doing, because we're dumb. Like I have a bachelor's degree, but it's not nothing to do with no science.
Yeah.
It's accounting.
I don't know nothing.
So yeah, I can help do the due diligence on shroom stocks, but can I? Like, we really don't know what we're looking at the end of the day with both psychedelics. But Paul Stamets, that's where these cool type of guys come in. The guys at Stanford University, Professor Dror, Todd talked about a bit earlier this week, and these guys that are getting onboarded onto these stock companies, like Dr. Gabor Mate, who he was in downtown East Side Vancouver helping people with addictions therapy and mental health issues there. So like that's the real type of shit. And we haven't done that. We just get to learn about this stuff and share it with you.
Yeah. We're trying to
these guys can't learn. Do pods.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping that one day we can connect to them, get their message out, and we can be that in-between area where we do our dumbass thing and make it entertaining enough and connect to these important people.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, they're busy making the world a better place where we can have these therapies legally available to everybody.
Yeah,
You don't have to sign up for some dumb clinical trial where you can't trust if you're going to survive or not, because
exactly.
you're going to survive, like, with this stuff. We all know it. Like, no matter what these people want to say. I think if they are trying to get rid of the possible side effect where you end up with schizophrenia, then that's huge. Because, like, I don't know about LSD so much, but I had an experience myself on MDMA, and I think that had to do with just being street drugs. Like
Well,
way back when I was a kid in university, being an idiot, did that stuff 2 nights in a row, and ended up getting sleep deprived, ended up having drug-induced psychosis, and going to the hospital to get a sleeping pill, basically, and slept for like 16 hours, maybe less, maybe more. I really have no idea. I was that out of it for a while, and everything was good after that. It was pretty wild, but came through to the other side. But yeah, I couldn't imagine that being permanent or being 10 times worse. And
yeah, for sure.
I don't think we know enough about whether that's just something that is going to happen and is activated early, because I came back, like, I'm like, knock on wood, that stays, but I would hate if that happened to anybody and they were stuck that way. So
For sure.
so
And I
that's the
definitely
only
think
reason I
that's
understand Joe Rogan saying, like, it's not for everyone, but I do really think it's for everyone. It's just like the lowest dose possible is the best thing you can do, because
right.
if you're gonna smoke weed, then you might as well take a 0.1 of psilocybin mushrooms if they're both illegal in your area, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah, what do you think, Todd?
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking
You pump
can't
for the
remember what we were talking
recreational
about.
you pump for the recreational market to go worldwide with the truffles coming out of Amsterdam and
Oh,
Trump
that'd be
trying to
sick,
spread
man.
it.
Like fucking right on, man. I want to try those real quick, but I don't know.
That's the
We'll see.
decriminalization
I feel like
movement, and that's
yeah,
the complete, well, not the complete opposite of this capitalist biopharma movement, because like, I think there's players out there that want to create patented drugs, and there's players out there that want to bring therapy to the people, and there's players out there that want to decriminalize, and then there's completely illegal operations that I came across on Instagram, even full websites.
yeah.
Like, you just have to look for them. Like, they're even advertising on Google, these illegal websites. Like,
It's pretty crazy. The internet's made it like way too easy to sell drugs, it seems like. But
it's a good and a bad thing, because
yeah,
unfortunately, with the transactions happening the way they do, there's no way to be positive you're getting the product you're looking for. It's
yeah,
not
that's really
lab
the problem.
tested. Like, that's what I think is crazy. Like, I can't believe Joe Rogan's against legalizing drugs. I like,
Is he?
well, he says, like, oh, there'd be problems, like, it'd be like like but look at alcohol prohibition. Like, alcohol
Yeah.
was so much more deadly when it was prohibited.
Yeah, exactly. When it was
So,
made.
like, I want safe doses. I want, like, I maybe you have to go to a vending machine and you have to put your health card in to get this stuff. And we don't completely get rid of a black market for people that have a serious addictions problem. But then you can, like, whatever we can do to make it accessible and legal and safe, whether that's just injection sites and test kits being openly available and decriminalizing possession but not trafficking,
Yeah.
or whether that's creating this is a choice to go to your pharmacy and get whatever amount's good for 6-hour period or 12-hour period or 24-hour period, or whatever we think is safe. We got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I know what you're
Cannabis
saying.
happened. We got 10 milligram edibles out. 10 milligram. I can't even buy enough edibles to get high off that. Like,
Yeah,
I can't
it's
afford
ridiculous.
$200 worth of edibles to take to take 400 milligrams. Like,
It is ridiculous.
So but at the same time, like, it's better than nothing. It's a million times better than nothing.
Yeah, at least we can keep pushing for more, you know.
At least we're adults. Like it's just mind-blowing to me that the States has war on drugs. When you go to places like Ohio,
it's insane.
And they don't even have to wear a motorcycle helmet. So you're telling me someone can choose not to wear a motorcycle helmet, but they can't choose to smoke marijuana.
Yeah, man.
But cigarettes are cool.
Well, you don't want to start shit with like outlaws.
Yeah,
that's what happens with the helmet rule.
I guess that's
Jason. That's a whole nother. Don't fuck with the helmet rule, man. That's a dangerous fucking rule.
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot. They do have guns there. You know,
yeah, man. I mean,
the illegal drugs are not a problem that those outlaws have.
They hide their drugs though in the bike. If they're not wearing their helmets and they're getting arrested, you know, that starts lots more issues. Yeah. There's layers to this, Jason. Layers.
If I was a police officer in one of those states, I'd be pulling everyone who wore a helmet over. And just so they have to take it off while I question them. And if they don't, I'd be like, it'd be probable cause to search their bike and their helmet.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like a cop, I just pull everyone over. Every other car. I'd be like, eeny, meeny, miny, your car.
Glad you're not a cop.
For sure.
Would never be one.
That's why I'd never make the force.
Yeah, I
tell them that too right in the interview.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I would never be a cop for the same reason I'm not a public accountant. Like, even if I was pumped for it and went to go be a police officer, I just couldn't do it at the end of the day. Like, there's no way I could help the government enforce these ridiculous rules they put on us.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a lot of rules that are very important, and police officers are very important. But like you said, I'm not a sharp enough tool to be certain that I'd be good at being a police officer. And a lot of police officers are bad. So I wouldn't want to add to that population.
I just feel like it's such a hard job to like do good at. Well, that's exactly it. You wouldn't want to just be another asshole.
Yeah. Cause 100% it's hard to do good at. Like, you're obviously trying to protect and serve the community. And even if you are the best police officer at doing that, you're still a human who's going to think the way humans think and get choked up and want to pull the trigger on your gun and shoot someone because you're fucking scared to death. They're going to shoot you first. Like,
oh yeah,
I understand that, but I also can't support it.
I've also seen that video of that cop shooting a guy in the back and then pouring crystal meth on him. Yeah, exactly. That's not just a Dave Chappelle joke. Yeah,
that's real life.
A legit thing that happened.
Yeah, which is why Dave Chappelle's amazing.
Hilarious.
Yeah. but yeah, that's a lot of crazy shit we kind of went in on Russia there. Hopefully we can cover China.
Yeah, that's the next plan. China's brainwashing. It's supposed to be more expansive. Different techniques, I think. They have a lot more different techniques.
Less
non-machine or drug involved.
True. Well, they do have a way bigger population.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And I also think they are kind of like, drugs can easily be adulterated, and that was kind of the biggest thing why I even told my story about MDMA, because like it's just not a great way to have things exist. Like, it's dangerous. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Do you want your kids going out and having that experience?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to do it one way or another. Like, no matter,
would you rather have good MDMA, or would you rather have rat poison and MDMA?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want, like, are you going to take Adderall or meth? Like, are you going to give your kid with ADD Adderall or meth? Like, either way, it's probably not good for them.
Exactly.
But when push comes to shove, some people decide to give their kid Adderall. They're never going to give them meth, but it's basically the same chemical compound, just sold under a pharmaceutical name. Yeah.
They've just convinced people that, you know, they need it. It's a missing compound in their brain, not meth.
Gets you super active. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing too with these biopharma companies and the stocks, like who knows if any of this is MK Ultra reenacted. A lot of, like, as we saw that what happened with the bailouts back in 0809, like the auto companies that got bailed out and were government owned ended up on the stock exchange. No one bats an eyelash at that. Maybe Saudi Arabia bought 10-20% when the stock market dipped. Like they were buying up 10-20% of everything. They bought a lot of Carnival, they bought a lot of hotels, they own a lot of Tesla stock already. Like that, and again, that's another big issue with the corporate state. Like if it's not controlled by the government, it could be controlled by other governments.
Yeah, easily.
And all that takes is one or two board members to say you should be doing this instead of that, or putting their influence in, or doing a corporate takeover. And that's just dollars. So yeah, economic warfare is real. It exists. We may or may not be in a Cold War, but
I mean, I think so.
Yeah, it's hard to say we're not.
Definitely an economic Cold War. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, it's a great time for psychedelic drugs and research.
Yeah.
I've been loving it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. But
it's only gonna get better from here, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Just like our friggin' pod.
Just like our friggin' pod.
And the news show, yeah. So
Trip report.
Getting back into the stuff there. I think, like Todd said, LSD was one of the materials tested in the MK Ultra program, and
was the main.
It was the main choice of weapon. So we're gonna have a lot of topics to cover, not just China and stuff that may or may not have had drugs and mind control psychedelic experiments research that way, but we're gonna get deep into different ideas, like Charles Manson and his ties to LSD culture,
CIA operations,
operations, yeah, and also other crazy things that may or may not have went down.
Yeah, just wherever the research takes us, the psychedelic research. We're just trying to get to the bottom of drugs, where they come from, where they're going, and how governments are involved with them.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to keep up with that cool shit, if you don't, tell us why. Comment down below. We want to hear your thoughts and ideas and all that other stuff. If you're not comfortable commenting, you can email, you can text, you can leave a voicemail. We've got that information below too. If you prefer IGTV, we're there. Follow us. You can catch us on IGTV. Same time, Fridays, 4:20 PST. And if you want to watch a trip report, you're going to just have to wait around to see when they come out each day. If you want to watch the full show, you can do that Monday mornings. Again, 4:20 PST, Monday mornings. Start your week off with the boys. End your week with the boys. Have a great weekend. Do whatever the hell you want with it. We're going to be there. Going hard with the psychedelic drugs.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Turning on and dropping out. And again, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, do all that fun stuff.
Follow us for sure. Like all our videos.
Yeah. And tell us what you like and want to hear more of.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the audio version, don't forget to put that 5-star rating.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.